Cities have been a staple of Minecraft history since the game was released. Even with cities like Greenfield and even the Build the Earth project, people are insane enough to build cities in survival or even hardcore. And then I thought about giving it a try. I wanted a world with a huge retail outlet, places for nature to thrive, large flat fields, vast open roads varying in size, a mixture of old buildings, government buildings, religious buildings, building sites, open fields and stunning suburbs. And to be honest, I think I achieved it. Oh my god, you have no idea how long it took me to do these lights. Unfreeze. There we go, now everything's gone back to normal. I've probably done about 300 or so in this whole world. And if you just look at how big the world goes anyway, then you'll realise how many I actually did. But honestly, this took so long. Down here, I tried to put a little greenhouse. It doesn't look very good. I've sort of hidden it in cherry blossoms. I think it looks alright from this angle as you go in. But on the outside, I think I might just replace it with wood, because I tried to follow a little design I found on Google and see if I can put an image in. It just didn't go to plan, so I think I'm just going to put it back to wood. Anyway, this path and the pattern of the trees is all my design, obviously. I didn't copy it block for block. Car park that you can't turn around in, because, well, that's very clever. This shopping centre, I'm proud to say, was my design. At least I think it was. The design was actually a mixture of an image I found on Google and IKEA, so I just merged the two together. This block of flats, I based it off, I think it's called Vale House in Jesmond. These lights I like to think were my own design, but I really don't know. If this is your design, I'm very sorry. Didn't do it deliberately. These lights were definitely my design. It's not very hard to replicate this. Yeah, so I made this motorway, so it's like a little dual carriageway there, and then it splits off into two different lanes. It's actually not a dual carriageway, because one lane of traffic goes that way, and the other goes that way. But still. And then the traffic splits off, goes left, goes right, and then goes on separately. I didn't know what to put in the middle here, so I just put loads of wheat. Honestly, it took me about 10 years maybe to figure out what has happened there. It took about 10 years for me to realise that I could just freeze the world by doing /tick freeze, because every time I would try and load this thing with farmland, it would just go back to dirt too quickly, and I was like, why? Well, how am I supposed to do this then? Then I discovered the freeze command, and then my whole life changed. This whole area, I just got really bored and just put loads of wheat in it. I think behind this housing estate, I'm going to do a golf course. These houses were, I'm not going to say they're my own design, because they're based on real life houses. Again, I'm not going to admit which ones, because then it would be too easy for me for people to know where I live. So yeah, I've done like a little construction site at the back here with just bits of pods all on the floor, and then I've done a layout of a house and the floor of another, and then I've done a half-finished house here with scaffolding, and I've built a crane. This wasn't my own design, admittedly, but I didn't copy it, you know, completely accurately. This wasn't either. This is the only thing that I've copied nearly fully. I did change a few bits around. And this, obviously, I mean, everybody can build this. I think this cherry blossom thing over here ties the world together very nicely, because it's like another different type of tree that actually it doesn't go too badly with the spruce. It's quite a cut-off area, well, it's very blocked anyway from the outside. I think it looks quite nice with a little bit of glass in the middle, and then a little whatever it is over there. The car park, I think I could probably improve. Like, obviously, you can't even turn around at the end, so what's the point? This shopping centre was massive, and I kept the lights at the top just to make it look a bit nicer from the top. There's a little side road here for deliveries. See, I've made it very true to life. So this building I thought would be either like apartments / flats or like an office building, and I was going to do like a second one over here, obviously when I get the time. This one would be like a hotel. This one would be flats, but like older, posher flats. This is like a government building. I've based it off Belsay in Newcastle. And then this one would be like a Art Deco style block of flats. They look nice inside, but not on the outside. I've gone with a very traditional, like American 18th century style church here. It looks quite nice when you go in. Okay, that's just rude. Then a little petrol / gas station here. Not really a lot to say. I don't think this was my own design, but I feel like you can't really pattern a design in Minecraft. There isn't really much else. I mean, all these roads and lights alone have taken me the majority of the time compared to all these buildings. Because I used obviously the fill command for those walls, and then the glass I had to do by hand because I couldn't fill them all in. I think this thing, actually out of all of them, was the quickest to build because I just used the fill command for all of them. I made this side first, and then I just replicated it on the other side to make it symmetrical. and then I just use the fill command for everything else. Weirdly, the thing that took the longest was the wheat, because of because of all the commands that I didn't realize you could do. This, I think I might get rid of this and replace it with something else, because I don't really see the point in having it there. I've done little laybys with bins and things. I've tried to make it as true to life as possible. This is basically all I do when I get bored. Obviously a nice housing estate. I think I would have 18 houses if the back row was finished. I'm going to keep it like that just to make it look aesthetically pleasing. I've actually done a clever thing where I've rounded off the edges of the corners, just so it looks a little bit more sort of bendy in the road, and it doesn't make it look all square. I think it looks better than it would if it was like that. It makes it a bit more rounded off. I quite like that. What I do like though is when you're flying through this area, everything sort of just spawns in as you get closer, and it's like it reveals a new layer to the area. These floors, right? I use the fill command, but they're too thick. They're 2 blocks thick, and I had to do that 12 times. Actually, I think it was probably this building that took the longest. Never mind all the wheat over there. I didn't even know what to do for the roof, so I just left it at the top and just put a little design here. The grey thing at the bottom was based on an image I found on Google, and then the rest of it I think was my own design. I think this is probably the most modern looking building I have, but I wanted to do a mix of like really old and really new buildings. That obviously will be the oldest thing here. I don't know why it's like raised, because it doesn't really make sense for the age and for the position in the area, but it doesn't matter. It's not real. It's a kid's game. Honestly, I'm really proud of how much work I've done. This is basically all I do when I'm bored, and clearly I'm bored a lot. Obviously, I need suggestions for what else to build, because I have so many roads that go nowhere that I need to find things to build. Obviously, this thing over here, this thing is like a big motorway that just goes nowhere, and then this road ends here. So I think I might continue this road along to the end bit, join it up, and then have a road going that way, and then somewhere else, something else over there. And I want this motorway to go somewhere else. I think I want these two to join so I don't have to do a big field again, because that was painful. Leave me suggestions for stuff to build, because I'm running out of ideas already, and I haven't even put many things down. I think it's been quite nice sort of doing my own version of a city, even if it's not in survival and it's not as impressive. I'm quite proud of the work I've done already. Anyway, well, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.